नहीं मुझे उसका
All
लिंक
right,
भेजा
so
है।
good morning, everyone,
Hmm.
and happy to see that three stars are showing up in this beautiful blue sky.
Like Jesus Christ ke 3 stars.
Yes, like Zoom has this beautiful sky color background. So whenever I open Zoom, what I love to see is that beautiful sky color and the numbers of people who show up are like this number of stars.
Hmm.
So four stars are there in this beautiful sky right now.
Hmm.
That's a
Vinay,
clear
can
sky.
you be on camera if you possible?
See, here it's dark, so I don't switch on lights and anything
Okay,
this time.
it's okay.
So even if I come on camera, it won't work. Okay, so let me do some quick summary of this. So Nikhil has joined for the first time. See what essentially the author is Joseph Gwen. So Joseph Gwen is saying that, in fact, it has been medically proved also, and that thoughts are something which just comes to us from any incident happening around us, and whatever follows is the thinking. Now, the outcome of thoughts is, in a simple way, it is a five letter word, which is LPJFC. LPJ is love, peace, and joy, and FC is fulfillment and clarity. Now, when we have these blissful moments, when we are actually enjoying love, peace, and joy, we are having complete clarity and we are having complete fulfillment. Those are actually very small moments. Those are the moments when we are in a very uh, excited state and we don't have any reason behind that. Just imagine those moments. For example, that you just got your, say, class 10th mark sheet, your class 10th result declared hua, and you were eager to know what is happening. And the moment you got to know about it, then what happened? You can imagine that moment when your CA result was declared and you discover that yes, now you have become a CA. What happened during the first 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or maybe 1 minute that you are enjoying? You are not even aware of what is happening around. You know, think of India is playing against Pakistan and you are watching that match. What is happening? And actually, this you can experience the difference between thought and thinking, or the effects of thinking, when you are watching a cricket match or watching a football match, or for example watching a basketball match. When, like, sometimes you are thinking is that कि उनको ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था, उसने ऐसा क्यों किया. And that is those are the actions which is happening because something is happening on the court. Now whatever is happening on the court, on the ground, and when you are actually enjoying those moments, you are not thinking at all. You are completely immersed into these five states of mind: love, joy, peace, fulfillment, and clarity. And the moment you start thinking, you get into a zone which is out of these five states. So you're not in those five states. And that is where you start writing your stories of sufferings and miseries. So the results that we experience, suffering and miseries, is out of the thinking which happens after a thought pops up in your mind. So what author is saying, and eventually, in fact, many of great saints have already said that hundreds and thousands of years ago. Buddha has said that, Socrates has said that, Aristotle has said that think less. Thoughts are like cloud; they will keep on coming on the sky. But whatever you're thinking about that cloud is resulting in all those things which have nothing to do with joy, peace, love, fulfillment, or clarity. So this is where we are in a nutshell as we were reading the last eight chapters. We'll move to ninth chapter today. Ninth chapter is actually it's one of the longest chapter in the book, and fantastic chapter. And let us go through that chapter. I'm just opening the book right here. Now, what we also do that every weekday from Monday to Friday, we connect on a WhatsApp call at 6:45 a.m. for 15 minutes, and there we just read some part of the book. We practice that part throughout the day, and we come back next day in the morning and share our experience. That this is what happened as I was practicing this. So that helps you to connect yourself with yourself and actually sharing that how that makes a difference, how that made a difference to you on the last day yesterday जो भी हमने उसको किया. So I'm just sharing my screen and let's start reading from chapter 9. And what we do, we read one page each and then somebody else takes it over. Now, this being a long chapter, we'll take small breaks and we'll discuss on those, whatever we discuss, whatever we read. Okay, so here we go.
Okay, if we stop thinking, what do we do about our goals, dreams, and ambitions? There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Napoleon Hill. I think, therefore I suffer. When I finally understood that thinking was the root cause of all my suffering, I was jumping up and down, exhilarated, relieved, and grateful for discovering the true reason for everything negative I've experienced in my life. This ecstasy was short lived, though, because soon after the exuberance settled, the next thoughts popped up into my mind. If thinking is the root cause of all my suffering and I just stopped thinking, how do I live my life now? What about all of my goals, dreams, and ambitions? Do I stop wanting things in life? Well, I just devolve into a couch potato and not do anything with my life anymore. So you'll have to shift that. In case you are
Yes.
wondering, yes, I'm telepathic and yes, I can read your mind. Just kidding. But if you are wondering how I wrote the exact and very similar questions and know what thoughts you are likely to have right now, it's because I am human also, contrary to popular belief. All of us are going through similar journeys of awakening to our true selves. So rest assured that many people are having the exact same thoughts you are having right now as you come to see your true magnificence. Now, back to the question of what we do about our goals, dreams, and ambitions if we stop thinking. As I pondered on these questions, an incredible amount of fear and anxiety began to surface because I thought that I would have to give all of it up and become a monk in the middle of the mountains. I was definitely not ready to do that. As much as I wish I were enlightened and detached to my life, I genuinely enjoyed being in the world, experiencing the fullness of life with other people, even if a large portion of my life was filled with suffering. Here's what I've discovered about what to do with our goals and dreams with this new understanding. As we've mentioned in previous chapters, there's a difference between thoughts versus thinking. The source of thoughts and the source of thinking are different, and the source is what will dictate whether it causes suffering or not. Similarly, where our goals and dreams come from will determine whether we feel great about pursuing them or not. Like everything in this world, there is nothing inherently good or bad, only our thinking makes it so. Goals, dreams, and ambitions are not good or bad, so it's not really an either or situation, but more about where these goals are coming from. There are two sources.
Yeah, somebody else take it
Yes,
over
I'll
now.
stop. Thank you.
Yeah, so Nikhil, you can take it over.
I'll read after a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Can
So
anybody take?
yes, yes, anybody else can take it up.
Shweta, you want to read or do I continue?
Okay, I will
I
continue.
can.
Yeah, please.
So, where is it exactly?
Yeah, there on the
There are
screen.
two
You just have to read
sources.
what is on the
Um,
screen.
okay, there are two sources of goals: goals created out of inspiration and goals created out of desperation. When goals are created out of desperation, we feel a large sense of scarcity and urgency. It feels heavy, like a burden. We may even feel daunted by the colossal talk we have just committed ourselves to. Imposter syndrome and self doubt begin to manifest, and we always feel like we never have enough time for anything. We go about our life frantically, desperately searching for answers and ways that we can accomplish our goals faster, always looking externally, never feeling enough or that we can ever get enough. Worst of all, if we happen to accomplish our goal within a few hours or days afterwards, all of those same feelings of lack begin to resurface. We begin not feeling content with what we have done, unable to savor our accomplishments, and because what we did never feels like it's enough, we feel that same way about ourselves. Not knowing what else to do, we look around for guidance externally to see what others are doing and see they are continuing to do the same thing. Thus, we go ahead and proceed to set another goal out of desperation in an attempt to escape all the negative feelings gnawing away at our soul. When we dig a little deeper into these types of goals we set, they are all typically means goals and not end goals. In other ways, the goals are we set in this state of desperation are all of means are all a means to an end. There's always a reason we want to accomplish the goal, and it's always for something else. For example, we want to create a multi-millionaire dollar business because we want financial freedom, or we want to quit our job so that we can escape the stress and anxiety that comes from it. We feel like we have to do these things instead of want to. Goals created from desperation are typically realistic and created from analyzing our past and what we think to be plausible in the moment. It feels very confining and limiting. Although these types of goals and dreams may excite us in the moment, as soon as we begin to try to create it, we feel a lack and we are desperate to bring the dream to life. Paradoxically, if we do end up achieving a goal created out of desperation, we end up feeling even more empty than we did before it. The next logical thing we tend to do is to set an even bigger goal out of even greater desperation to hopefully make us feel whole inside. This is how most of us set our goals and how we live our lives. I'm also not saying this is to criticize and judge at all, but to reveal the reality of it. The only reason why I was able to describe it in painful and excruciating detail was because that was my life.
Okay.
Here's the good
Wait,
news.
wait, wait. Hell, let somebody else read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm taking. Here's the good news. It's not your fault that you set goals that way if you are, and there's a way out. It's through creating goals and dreams out of inspiration instead of desperation. When we create goals out of inspiration versus desperation, it is a completely different story. In this state, we are creating because we feel deeply moved, inspired, and expansive. It feels like a calling mm, rather than an obligation. It is like there's a powerful force of life coming from within us, wanting to be expressed through us to be made manifested into the physical world. This is why painters paint, why dancers dance, why writers write, and why singers sing. Even if they never get paid or make a living from it, we feel pulled by a force to create something. We gravitate towards it. We feel compelled to do it. Wait, huh? When we feel like this, we are creating from a place of abundance instead of lack. अब पूरा स्क्रॉल कर दीजिए हाँ और भी कर दो more surprising of all is that in this state we are creating not for any reason at all other than because we simply want to. We don't create because we feel like we have to. We create because we simply want to, and there's no other reason. We aren't creating these goals, so that we can do something else or use it as a means to get something else we want. This creating comes from a place of wholeness and abundance. It's an overflowing of love and joy for life. This is the reason why most of us want to have kids. It's not so that we can milk our kids for their money once they are old enough to work and hopefully use them as a retirement plan. वैसे मैं सोचता हूँ ऐसा we want to have kids because we want to share life abundance of what we have with them, and it comes from a place of sharing what we have lots of versus trying to get something out of them. This feeling of this inspiration is incredibly difficult to describe because it does not come from this world. It really doesn't come from us, but through us from something greater than us. I like to call this feeling divine inspiration because the ideas and vision we have of what we want to create seem to be far bigger than we would have possibly imagined or come up with ourselves. Since divine inspiration doesn't come from us but from something greater, it doesn't analyze or rely on past data of what you or anyone in the world has already accomplished. Divine inspiration is what happens when groundbreaking creations and inventions are created that seemed to be impossible not too long ago. It knows no boundaries, limits, or constraints. It is an incredibly expansive force that energizes and lifts us, making us feel like we are high on life. In this state, we feel whole, complete, filled with unconditional love, joy, and peace. We don't analyze, compare, criticize, judge, or rationalize anything, but instead we truly live, love, share, give, create, grow, and nourish. It really is one of the greatest feelings we can experience, and it is truly a gift that we can experience the divine as humans, and it's because we are from the same source.
Wonderful. Yes, Sakshi, you can take it over from here.
Good morning, everyone. Everyone has experienced this deep feeling and desire to create something marvelous in the world that's out of pure inspiration and not desperation. Before moving on to the next paragraph, I encourage you to test this theory. Pause here and spend a few minutes thinking about times in your life where you felt an overwhelming feeling and desire to create something magnificent because you felt deeply inspired and called to. It doesn't matter if you actually created it or not, but just think of a time where you felt that feeling to create out of inspiration. Isn't that just one of the most amazing feelings in the entire world? Most of us feel this divine inspiration, but then suppress it as soon as we begin thinking about doing it. We begin to think ourselves into doubt, rationalize why we can't do it, tell ourselves that it is unrealistic, how we should focus on more important things, and that we are not good enough to do it. As soon as we begin to think about the thought of us wanting to create, it completely shuts off the source of the inspiration and we go back to living life as usual. When we cut off that source, we also cut off the feelings of abundance, exuberance, ecstasy, joy, pure unconditional love, and go back to the feelings of doubt, anxiety, frustration, sadness, and feel confined, stuck, and frustrated with our lives. We can only follow one calling at a time, either inspiration or desperation in the present moment. The two cannot coexist at the same time, but we can
Yeah.
fluctuate between the two depending on how much thinking is going on. When we stop thinking, we don't stop having goals and dreams. We actually fall back into the true nature and begin to create goals and dreams out of inspiration versus desperation. We begin to allow thoughts from the universe to come into our mind that leads us to divine inspiration to create something that has never been created before in the world. When we follow divine inspiration, we feel alive, whole, joy, love, peace, and fulfillment. So, how can we
Wow.
tell when a goal or dream is created out of inspiration or desperation? A simple way to know if a goal or dream is created out of inspiration or is to remember the distinction between thoughts and thinking. Goals and dreams that come in the form of thought are created out of inspiration. Goals and dreams that come from thinking are created out of desperation. Typically, when we think, we'll analyze, judge, criticize, rationalize, and use our past to try to create our new goals. But this form of creating goals feels extremely restricting and limiting. We don't typically feel good when creating these types of goals, and we are pursuing them. We don't feel great either, since it's all out of desperation. Another way to identify the two is to sense how you feel energetically. Goals and dreams created out of desperation will feel very heavy, draining, confining, and empty. We tend to feel a lot of scarcity, fear, and stress, like we have to do it or that we are obligated to. With these types of goals, it seems like if we do not accomplish it, that there will be dire consequences, hence the high pressure and stakes. I'm sure you can see now how this can create the feeling of desperation. Moreover, we feel like we are trying to accomplish these goals to escape our current situation and get out of something. Our goals created in this state are typically means goals, meaning that we want to achieve these goals so that we can do something else afterwards, such as having the goal to quit our job. Most likely, you will have this goal because you want to go do something you actually enjoy. But you can see how the goal of quitting your job is just a mean goal for you to go to do something else, or having a goal of making $1 million in typically set because you want to have financial freedom and go travel the world. These goals are always a means to an end and not the end itself. There is always a reason that we want to accomplish these goals, and it makes us feel very empty inside. I want to
Great.
emphasize.
May I read now?
Okay.
All right. So, I want to emphasize that none of these goals are inherently bad, or that we shouldn't have goals of wanting to make money or quitting our jobs. If those goals are created from inspiration, that is completely different. It just depends on the source of the goals and not necessarily the goal itself. This is an important distinction to make. Otherwise, you'll spend most of your time debating and stressing yourself out over if this is the right goal for you or not. There is no right or wrong goal, only goals created from inspiration or desperation. It just depends on how you want to feel inside. And when you are aware of those two types of goals and how they manifest, then you will be able to feel blissful as you go about creating amazing things in your life. On the other hand, goals and dreams created out of inspiration, which comes from thought, feel very light, energizing, uplifting, and expansive. We tend to feel excited, joyful, and most importantly, inspired. We don't feel like we have to create it, but that we want to. Instead of feeling like you need to do this, you feel inspired to. There's virtually no pressure because we are not trying to get out of something or escape our current situation by accomplishing this goal. There's no scarcity or urgency because we don't feel like we're creating from a place of lack, but instead from a place of abundance, and we just want to share it with the world. Since it's coming from inspiration, we are not doing it to get something out of it so that we can do something else. It's not a means goal, but simply an end in and of itself. There's no reason we need to create it. We are not creating so that we can feel whole, but we are creating because we feel whole and want to give it from that place, not expecting anything from it. Yes, Mangala ma'am, you can carry on.
I'm sure you can see the stark difference between the two now, and that you can tell which type your goals currently fall under. If most of your goals fall under the category of desperation, don't worry, because most people have goals created from desperation, including myself, before I knew a better way. So, how do we create goals and dreams out of inspiration versus desperation? Creating goals and dreams from divine inspiration isn't something you have to try to do. We naturally have thoughts of infinite inspiration all the time. If you look at children, they naturally have the wildest dreams and imaginations of what they want to do. It almost doesn't even register in their minds that they can't do something most of the time. The only difference between us and children is that we have learned to shut down all these thoughts of inspiration, which contain our dreams, hopes, and goals that we truly want to see manifested in the world. Our minds are filled with reasons of why we can't than thoughts of what we want to create. We innately have an infinite flow of inspiration that comes through us, but we block that flow as soon as we begin thinking about the thoughts we have, which causes self doubt, self sabotage, and anxiety. Think of the flow of inspiration to create like a river. The river always flows until man puts something there to block it, like a dam. Then, when the dam is there, we ask, Why there are so many fish dying, animals disappearing, and forests dwindling when all we need to do was return the river back to its natural state and everything will be working perfectly fine the way nature intended it to. This is the
Thank you.
same. I'll finish this paragraph.
Yeah, it's okay.
This is the same for our minds and our goals. We always dream, have big goals, and know what to do at all times when we are tapped by our inner wisdom and inner intelligence, free from thinking. If we simply do not think about our thoughts, any sort of thoughts about dreams, goals, and desires that naturally arise are all from the divine, and that is how you create goals out of inspiration versus desperation. A question that greatly helps me to settle the thinking and tap into the limitless well of possibilities of what I could create is, if I had infinite money, already traveled the world, had no fear, and didn't receive any recognition for what I do, what would I do or what would I create? Whenever we ask questions,
Stop,
answer.
stop, stop, stop.
Okay, okay,
Let
sorry. Thank
It's okay.
you.
Yeah, yes, Shweta, you can go ahead.
Yes, whenever we ask questions, answers always arise. It is impossible for our brains to hear a question and not come up with a response. So, when you ask yourself this question, whatever begins to come up for you without any manual thinking will be from the divine and from inspiration versus desperation. The way the question is worded is extremely important because it removes most of the thinking, fear, criticism, and external reasons of why you would want to do something. So it focuses your answer on what you truly want to create. Usually, it's for no reason other than you just wanting to create it because it's fun without any influences from the material world. Try asking the question and seeing what comes up for you. You'll be surprised at what surfaces. But don't get caught up with your thinking when those true dreams of yours begin to be revealed to you. To a mind without the limits of thinking, anything is possible.
Wow. All right. So let's have a discussion on this. I think this one chapter is good enough for a wonderful discussion this morning. Okay, let's get started.
Pinaki, I have a question. May I?
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, in my opinion, thinking is an active is an action. I do it purposefully, and thoughts are automatic, mechanical. So
Hmm.
here I'm. While I was reading, I was listening. I see the contrast. So please provide a few words on this. Throw light.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Nikhil. If it is not this, then what else could it be?
Pardon?
If it is not this, whatever you said, the difference between different thinking and thought, then what else could it be?
I
The
didn't
author
get
has
you.
used a word called distinction. He didn't use the word difference. He didn't say what is the difference between thought and thinking. He used the word
Mhm.
distinction. Distinction means there is no connection between these two.
Okay.
So that is the power of the word distinction. Distinction means that these two are no way connected. They are so distinct that you can't even compare. It is
Okay.
just like that, like uh, yes or no, or maybe a boy and a girl. So like with the looks, you know this is a boy or a girl. There is no comparison. It's so distinct. So what author
Mhm.
is talking about thoughts and thinking is the thoughts are something for which you do not need to do anything. They just come like clouds. Thinking is what follows after the thought appears. Thinking is an activity that you're doing consciously. Thoughts you have nothing to do because you do not know what thought is going to come next.
So why author has given age to thought rather than thinking?
No, no, there's no comparison that way either, Nikhil. It's just two different things altogether. It's Dr. Rajkumar. Let's hear
See,
from him.
I am reading a para in this book. When we innately have an infinite flow of inspiration that comes through us, but we block that flow as soon as we begin thinking about the thoughts we have, which causes self doubt, self sabotage, and anxiety. So, I have made the acronym SAID, SAD. When we have an anxiety, when we have sabotage, anxiety, and doubt, we are in thinking zone. The in the immediately next para, author has given another example. Then when the dam is there, we ask why there are so many fish dying, animals disappearing, and forests dwindling. When all we needed to do was return to the river back to its natural state. See, I practiced this yesterday, day before. Every day I am practicing. So days when we are planning, when we are enthusiastically working on something, it is thinking, but we will not call it thinking. It is a planning, it is an action taking, it is a goal towards goal. Thinking is when, said, so sabotage, anxiety, and doubt. We need to, there's a fine line of distinction between this. This is what I wanted to say, Pinaki.
Thank you. I got some clarity.
Wow.
We need to
This,
practice, Nikhil. It's a wonderful book, and Pinaki has found out a Koinu diamond. I see all other solutions, emotion management, distress, all that will go away if we follow only this single small book. And this sad SAD, self doubt, self sabotage, anxiety, and self doubt. वो अगर आ रहा है तो ये हमारी थिंकिंग है. वो
Okay,
नहीं आ रहा है
I
तो
get it.
थैंक यू.
Yeah. Yeah, Pinaki, move ahead with your agenda.
yeah, let have some more discussions.
I wanted to ask, okay, now we do understand the difference between thoughts and thinking. Fine. But in life, can I just live by thoughts? Can that find a solution which I want? Ultimately, we are all social beings and we want connectivity with the world, with the people around us, and adjust to situations. Unless if we just live by thoughts, for example, someone doesn't want to talk to me.
Okay, replace V
Can
with
that
I.
solve my problem?
Replace V with I.
Sorry? Okay,
Replace
can
V
that
with I.
solve my problem when I think that way? Someone doesn't want to connect with me for whatever reason. Now, but if I live by thought, yes, I understand that this is the way it is. But does that solve my problem in my life? No, because basically we are born to live as a social being, not like Robinson Crusoe living alone on the island. So, how do I find solutions to my life and my problem? This is my question. I do understand what Rajkumar sir says. Yes, self sabotage is there, anxiety is there, desperation is there. Fine, I understanding level is very much. But how do I choose to live now? And eternally, because in life one is going to have irrespective of the class of society one belongs to, one is going to have physical problems, emotional problems. So how do I solve this these problems? Thank you. Yeah, Rajkumar sir is ever ready with an answer. Hats off to you.
देखो, पिनाकी जी वर्ड क्या यूज करते हैं, डिवाइन एंजल्स. शेड में भी ए और डी है. तो आपने प्रिजम्पशन क्या किया, वी आर बोर्न विद प्रॉब्लम्स, वी आर बोर्न विद दिस, द अदर पर्सन इज बिहेविंग लाइक दिस. अगर उन सबको दिमाग में निकाल देंगे ना, हमारा एजम्पशन होना चाहिए. जैसे मैं, कोई मुझे पूछता है कैसे हो, मैं बोल रहा हूँ मैं स्काई में डांस कर रहा हूँ, आई एम एट द टॉप ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। तो वॉट वी स्पीक, इसके ऊपर एक किताब है, वॉट टू से व्हेन यू स्पीक टू योर सेल्फ। हम अपने आप से बात करते समय अपने आप को क्या बोलते हैं। अभी एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ। कल एक किताब मेरे पास आनी थी अमेजोन से, और वो परसों भी आई थी। तो ओटीपी पुराने नंबर पे आया है, मैं केवल लेटेस्ट नंबर कैरी करता हूँ मेरे पास। वाइफ ने फ़ोन किया, वो ओटीपी मांग रहा है। मैंने कहा वो पुराना नंबर मेरी बैग में है, आप दे दो। तो उसने कहा आप तो गुस्से से बात कर रहे हो। मैं वॉक पे था, मैं नीचे से ऊपर आया, तब तक वो किताब डिलीवरी बॉय ने दे दी और अपना मोबाइल नंबर छोड़ा। तो ये मैंने उसको दिमाग से ही निकाल दिया कि वाइफ ने मुझे बोला है कि आप गुस्से से बात कर रहे हो। आके मैंने कहा आई एम सॉरी। और तो ये उसकी थिंकिंग में मैं एंगेज नहीं हूँ। क्यों? इतना प्यार करने के बाद में वाइफ बोलती है कि आप गुस्से से बात कर रहे हो। सो दैट इज एंगेज्ड इन थिंकिंग। तो हमें कुछ अपने विचार बदलने पड़ेंगे। थैंक यू।
Yeah, that means it amounts to that I have to give up everything and everybody to lead and all problems and live by myself. So I live peacefully. Is that the answer?
See, what is my need? My need is a self happiness. I should dance. I should enjoy life. What is my need? I need to do everything what is for my need.
Yeah.
I
So
think this session we will leave to Pinaki ji. I my enthusiasm to answer I'll reduce,
no,
but I need to know what is my need, what I want from my life. See, my center focus is myself, 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 and my life. And that do not mean I am discarding my duties, my responsibilities, my actions for the world. मैंने एक समस्या में बार बार डिस्कस करता था पहले कि मेरी मैनेजिंग कमेटी मेरे हाउसिंग सोसाइटी में गलत हो रहा है, आज भी हो रहा है, लेकिन वो मेरी थिंकिंग में नहीं है। मैं उसका जवाब लिख देता हूँ जिनको लिखना है कि गलत हो रहा है, दैट्स ऑल। और एग्रेसिवली लिखता हूँ, और एग्रेसिवली लिखता हूँ, लेकिन मेरी थिंकिंग में नहीं है। वर्ल्ड में कई चीजें गलत हो रही है, मैं कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकता हूँ। थैंक यू।
yeah, just a lot of abandonment and giving up and sacrifice is also the solution. I understand. Thank you.
Wow, what a lovely discussion is going on. Who would like to add to this? Sakshi, Shweta, Manish, please add your views also. Yes, Sakshi, go ahead. We are unable to hear you, Sakshi. Okay, who else?
Yeah, I can
Shweta?
speak. Yeah. See, on this discussion, what I want to add is, like whatever in a day-to-day life, like whatever challenge or let's say जैसे मुझे थोड़ा मान लो लेट्स से गुस्सा आता है, या इन सम एरिया आई आई फील दैट आई शुड इम्प्रूव। ठीक है ना, लाइक जैसे होता है ना किसी की टोन हैवी होती है ना, तो उसमें क्या रहता है कि भाई वी शुड फोकस ऑन यूजिंग द राइट वर्ड्स, सॉरी, थैंक यू, आई लव यू एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट। एंड स्टार्ट। और जैसे होता है ना कि भाई आप कम बोलिए, कम बोलिए, कम बोलोगे तो आप सही बोलोगे। ठीक है, ज्यादा बोलोगे तो कुछ ना कुछ गलत भी बोलोगे। तो पॉइंट इज कि एक तो क्या है कि वी शुड ऑलवेज थिंक इन द डिजायर्ड स्टेट, जैसे जो हमारी थॉट्स है कि हाउ आई वांट माय लाइफ शुड बी, तो मुझे वैसा ही सोचना है बस, ठीक है ना। एंड आई शुड डू दिस विद फुल अफर्मेशन, जैसे वी ऑलवेज थिंक अबाउट द फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ द थॉट्स, ठीक है ना। तो जैसा हमारा थॉट्स होंगे वैसे ही हम चीजें अट्रैक्ट करेंगे। एंड व्हेन वी स्ट्रांगली बिलीव दैट, then it makes it more stronger and more practical. So last time also I think that is aligned with the same thing, ki always think in the desired state, and strongly believe that yes, it can happen, it will happen, I will say, not it can but it will happen, because our mind is like a radio transmitter. Thoughts are like a radio transmitter. So whatever I'm thinking, I'm attracting. Like whatever my thoughts are there, it is attracting the same kind of events. So basically जैसे होता है ना कि if I'm facing some issue, dealing with like talking to my colleagues, or जैसे uh, I do house construction, so I deal with so many different people, even like uneducated people and things like that, ठीक है। तो what I have learned is that I should talk less, and I should always think that कि गलतियां होंगी, हर आदमी हमारे जैसा नहीं है, ठीक है ना। तो वी शुड एक्सेप्ट दैट और बी हैप्पी विद दैट, क्योंकि जो अच्छा हो रहा है वो भी बहुत कुछ है, मतलब खुश रहने के लिए, ठीक है ना। तो वही बात है कि कुछ एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा, कुछ कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ेगा, और कुछ इग्नोर करना पड़ेगा। तो उसका सबसे अच्छा सॉल्यूशन है कि वी शुड टॉक लेस, है ना, एंड ऑलवेज थिंक कि गलतियां होंगी, है ना। एंड अगर वी कैन, इफ आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि गलतियां होंगी, तो आई विल बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट, तो वो मुझे इतना हर्ट नहीं करेंगी। मैं रोड पे जा रहा हूँ तो ट्रैफिक होगी, खड्डे होंगे, है ना। सम पीपल मे नॉट लाइक माई थिंकिंग, तो दैट्स ओके। लेकिन उसमें है कि भाई आई शुड ऑलवेज थिंक इन द डिजायर्ड स्टेट, कि भाई ठीक है, मुझे ऐसी लाइफ जीनी है एंड इट कैन हैपन, ठीक है ना। तो एक तो मेरा बिलीफ बहुत स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए, है ना। एंड आई शुड ऑलवेज थिंक इन द डिजायर्ड स्टेट। तो जब मेरे थॉट अच्छे होंगे तो मेरी थिंकिंग भी उसी हिसाब से अलाइन हो जाएगी। एंड थॉट इज बेसिकली अ नाउन थिंग, एंड थिंकिंग इज अ वर्ब बेसिकली। तो जैसी मेरी थॉट्स होंगी वैसी ही मेरी थिंकिंग अलाइन होगी, है ना। एंड वैसे ही मैं इवेंट्स एंड चीजों को अटेंड करूंगा। सो बेसिकली आई आई डोंट अट्रैक्ट व्हाट आई वांट, आई अट्रैक्ट व्हाट आई एम बेसिकली। So my thoughts will decide what I attract, and what I you can say what I achieve. So thoughts are very powerful, and the belief with those thoughts has to be undoubtful 100% that yes, it can happen. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Manish. Yes, Sakshi, Shweta,
Hello.
we can
Hello.
hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Please
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. Uh, Ma'am, will you please repeat your question once?
Me?
Yes.
I meant that if I have to sacrifice thinking and make compromises in terms of relations and things like that, does it mean, or I'm ready to tolerate, but others don't want to connect to me? So does it mean I must lead a lonely life because adjustment is not there, because acceptance of the others by me, my thoughts is not there, so they will not want to connect with me? So does it mean I lead a lonely life by giving up people, thinking, and that was my question. It's
So,
difficult. Very
ma'am,
difficult to
their
live in
connect.
society and then say, I don't, I am adjusting. But now the next generation is thinking very differently. They don't want anybody who doesn't think like them. So, in short, then there is distance, what shall I say, distance creating. So, how do you solve this? Ultimately, we are a generation, we want the other generation, we want to live in society.
So, I have typed in the chat box also, ma'am. According to me, there is a limit of everything. The new generation thinking or our thinking doesn't matter. The matter most of us are, you know,
imposing ourselves on others or try to impose or try to sacrifice. The question is whether that is making you happy or making them happy. Means, have you ever thought in the other way also, just like Rajkumar ji said, whatever you are saying, if it matters to you a lot to make you happy or make you feel light, that they will, means the compromises and sacrificing you are saying, are those sacrifices and compromises essential to make you happy or make them happy, or to what extent? The important question is that, means if those sacrifices and compromises you are doing on your part and ultimately they are again and again making you, painful, or they are giving you more suffering, then you must stop thinking about them and those compromises if they are not truly making you happier.
A generation doesn't have choices sometimes.
Ma'am, that is true, but they have their own life too. Just like Khalil Gibran, that they are coming from us. Our duty is to guide them, but they are not us. We cannot impose our thinking or our living style and everything on them every time. Because their instincts, their interests, their choices, their hobbies,
Yes.
definitely they are not very
Perfectly all
different
right.
from.
But this works up to a certain point when there is no physical or emotional problem.
And
Once
can you
physical,
control them by your
साक्षी, मैं कुछ बोलूं
temperament?
क्या? सॉरी, आई एम कटिंग
yes, sir.
डाउन.
Yes, sir.
साक्षी, अभी हमारी बिल्डिंग में जुम्मा क्लास होती है
Yeah.
और मुझे डांसिंग सीखना था. मेरी एक उसमें ज़्यादा गर्ल्स हैं, मतलब लेडीज हैं. तो एक लेडी मुझे इंसिस्ट कर रही थी, आप आओ आओ आओ. कल मैं गया क्लास में, फ्राइडे को. तो एक दो लेडी ने बोला कि नहीं, अभी हम नए स्टूडेंट को नहीं ले रहे हैं, मतलब स्टूडेंट जो हमारे मेंबर्स हैं.
Yeah.
तो मैंने कहा अभी हमारा एक दूसरा प्लेस है बैंक्वेट, उसमें शुरू करेंगे. एंड देन आई रियलाइज कि मेजोरिटी, मतलब जो ग्रुप है तीन चार लेडीज का, वो मुझे नहीं चाहते हैं. तो मैंने उसको बहुत पॉजिटिवली, मतलब वो मेरी थिंकिंग में नहीं है. फिर मंगला जी, कई मतलब क्या होता है, हस्बैंड को फ्रीडम नहीं मिलती है. कई बार मैं सोचता हूँ मैं वाइफ जाने के बाद में ये करूँगा. वाइफ जाने के बाद में मतलब एक्सपायर होने के बाद में. तो ऐसा मेरे ऊपर है कि मैं लाइफ को कैसे लेता हूँ. मैं इसलिए ये बोल रहा हूँ कि जो चीज़ हमारे पास नहीं होती है, हम सोचते हैं कि वो मिल जाए. वो मिल जाती है तो हम सोचते हैं नहीं, दूसरी मिल जाए. तो गिविंग अप द डिजायर और मे बी एक्सेप्टिंग एवरी सिचुएशन, हम खुद अपने ऊपर एजम्पशन बना रखे हैं कि नहीं, मेरा हस्बैंड नहीं है, इसके लिए मुझे कोई नहीं चाहता है. हमारे बिल्डिंग में 645 फैमिलीज है. जिनके हस्बैंड नहीं है उनको लोग ज्यादा चाहते हैं, या जिसकी वाइफ नहीं है उस व्यक्ति को ज्यादा चाहते हैं, क्योंकि वी आर ऑल ह्यूमन बीइंग, वी नो दे नीड मोर लव. हमारे यहाँ कितने फैमिलीज ऐसे हैं कि सिंगल लेडी रहती है, मतलब उसके बच्चे सब बाहर रहते हैं और हस्बैंड नहीं है, या सिंगल मैन रहता है, उसकी वाइफ नहीं है. तो मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है एज अ ब्रदर मंगला जी, अगर हम अपना एजम्पशंस चेंज करेंगे तो हमें दुनिया अलग लगेगी, अलग दिखेगी.
Very true.
ये जो
And the most
ऑथर ने इस
important thing,
किताब में
Mangla
एक
ji, that
एग्जाम्पल दिया है ना, रिवर का, जो मैं
yeah,
पढ़ रहा था, आफ्टर दैट पैरा ऑफ सेड सेल्फ डाउट, एंड उसी में नेक्स्ट पैरा दिया है, व्हेन वी लुक एट अ रिवर ना, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ डर्ट एंड वेस्टेज, बट इफ वी कम बैक टू द सोर, गुड सोर, then we don't look at that those things which we do not want to see. Thank you.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Till physical and emotional problems start, thinking will change because we need someone. We cannot be Robinson Crusoe. This is all what I want to say. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, it is correct. But it doesn't work in life.
हम क्या बोल रहे हैं अपने आप को कि it does not work in life. No, what we speak, what to say when we speak to ourselves. मैं ये कहता हूँ everything works in life. हम अलग से डिबेट करेंगे 1 to 1.
Pinaki ji, we have read in the previous book, there was a line that you yourself is sufficient to make yourself to be loved, to think, to enjoy, because everything starts from you only.
Yes. और इसको feel करने के लिए you have to replace you with I.
Yeah.
That is the starting point. The starting point is not you and we. The challenge is that you and we is an outcome of our thinking. See, the chapter that we read today, the author was talking about something very interesting. And that interesting is that every moment we are setting up goals. The question is, are we setting it out of inspiration or we are setting it out of desperation? When you're setting it out of inspiration, it's happening automatically. There is no logic behind it. It's just like I want, that's it. And when it is starting with desperation, then it's all about have. कि मुझे ये चाहिए, इसलिए I'm setting up this goal. इसलिए I'm setting up. Now, whenever it's all about have, that this is what I want, I have, that is where this desperation comes. So observe that whatever your goal is, like even right now also, if you observe that there is some goal. Every statement that we are making, every word that you are saying out, उसके पीछे कोई ना कोई goal है. Either it is out of desperation or it is just out of inspiration. That is the point what the author is suggesting कि आप वहाँ पर अपने आप को catch करो, catch yourself. Now, when it is out of inspiration, it's a divine thinking, it's a divine thought. Like that is the moment when you are actually experiencing divinity. कि उसके पीछे आपका कोई reason नहीं है. There is no reason behind it. I just want it. Period. It's like if I want to become a part of this morning session at 6:30 a.m. and if I have any reason behind it, then that is the desperation. If there is no reason behind it, that's the inspiration. So suggesting what author is actually suggesting is observe that, observe those moments when you are lived your life out of inspiration. Because rest is all about living your life out of desperation. उसके लिए कुछ observe करने की जरूरत नहीं है. But figure out when are those moments when you lived your life out of inspiration, like writing a book, being in the session, or doing
Or
certain
playing a
activities.
flute.
Yeah, absolutely. So things that you are doing
Pinaki ji,
without.
here I want to give one example also, what happened
Yeah,
with me, and it relates to Mangla ma'am's problems also. When I
do
started
not use the
learning
word
flute,
problem also.
hmm.
Using a word problem is a thinking. How about just
Okay.
replacing it with the situation that this is what she said.
Yeah, her situation. Yeah. Okay.
This is what she
So,
said. Yeah.
Mangla ji, what happened? I started learning flute in the age of 40 because I have tried many instruments, and I was not just like author said that sometimes we inspire by others and we start doing something, but later on we end up in the desperation instead of inspiration. So by and by I tried, and finally I find out the instrument I wanted to learn. So I pick up flute learning. And what happened in the family when I started learning flute, um, different kind of comments started coming, just like the garbage in the river example is given in the book. Some people started commenting that अब इस एज में तुम्हें ये शौक चढ़ गया है, अब तुम बच्चों को टाइम दोगे, ये सब करोगे. But because that was a natural, spontaneous thing what was coming to me, and it was giving me enjoyment. And one more thing I have find out in the journey that जो चीज़ हमारी natural instinct से inspired होती है उसके लिए हम anyhow come what may वाला reason apply करते हैं और उसके लिए हम सारे adjustments भी करते हैं. और जैसे फ्राइडे लर्निंग सेशन है हमारा, उसके लिए मुझे कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ रहा है कि मैं फ्राइडे लर्निंग वाला सेशन नहीं अटेंड कर पा रही हूँ. एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव स्टार्टेड द 5:15 सेशन ऑन एवरी डे. वासुदेव जी लीडिंग दैट. ऑन संडेज ऑल्सो आई ट्राई टू अटेंड दिस सेशन, बिकॉज जो चीज़ें मुझे ट्रूली हैप्पीनेस दे रही हैं उनके लिए मैं बाकी सब चीज़ों को बैलेंस करूंगी अपनी लाइफ में. तो फ्लूट वाला भी मतलब आफ्टर 3 or 4 months आई एम सीइंग कि जो लोग मुझे अभी फैमिली में ये कमेंट कर रहे थे, तुम ऐसा कर रही हो, वैसा कर रही हो, ये चीज़ इससे हैम्पर हो रही है, वो हो रहा है। लेकिन जब मैंने उनको धीरे धीरे सब चीज़ों को, ठीक है डिनर टाइम हमारा 6:30 है, तो मैंने 7:30 से मेरी क्लास है, तो मैंने उन सबको कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ करके बैलेंस किया है। बच्चों को पढ़ाने का है तो 9 to 10 मैंने वो रोटेशन चेंज किया है। अर्ली मॉर्निंग मैंने एक और घंटा पहले उठना शुरू किया है, क्योंकि वो चीज़ मुझे मतलब इंटरनली फील होती है कि हाँ वो मुझे करना ही है। और जब भी मुझे टाइम लगता है तो मैं 10 to 15 मिनट्स उसकी रियाज के लिए भी, जब भी मुझे लगता है तो मैं निकाल लेती हूँ। तो मुझे ये लगता है कि जो चीज़ आपको ट्रूली हैप्पीनेस देगी उसको आपको करना नहीं पड़ेगा, वो नेचुरली होती चली जाएगी और लोग भी उसके हिसाब से एडजस्ट होंगे। तो अभी वो सब लोग मुझे कहने लगे हैं, आज तो तुम्हारी क्लास होगी 7:30 की, तुम आज क्लास नहीं कर रही हो, अगर 1 मिनट भी ऊपर होता है तो थोड़ा सा जब हम अपनी एनर्जी को बैलेंस करके अपनी अकॉर्डिंग चलते हैं तो यूनिवर्स भी सपोर्ट करता है। और अगर मुझे लगता है कि यूनिवर्स, हमें लग रहा है कि हम सब कुछ कर रहे हैं और वो सपोर्ट नहीं मिल रहा है, तो फिर उसको फिर हमें छोड़ देना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो संस्कृत में भी कहते हैं कि यत्ने कृते यदि न सिद्ध यति को अत्र दोष। यानी यत्न करने पे भी यदि चीजें सिद्ध नहीं हो रही है तो इट मीन्स यूनिवर्स भी उस चीज को नहीं चाह रहा है। इट मीन्स आप अपनी तरफ से अगर ऑल द कॉम्प्रोमाइजेज यू आर डूइंग, सेक्रीफाइसेज यू आर डूइंग, एंड स्टिल दे आर नॉट लिसनिंग, दे आर नॉट कमिंग इन ट्यून विद यू, तो मुझे लगता है कि कुछ हद तक उस चीज को छोड़ देना भी बेहतर है। उसमें हम, इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट वी विल बिकम अ मॉन्क, हम थोड़ा लाइट बन जाएंगे और मेरे ख्याल से लाइफ को और ज्यादा अच्छे से एंजॉय कर पाएंगे लाइटली।
Yes, I understand. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. So
I want to
the
add.
start. Yes, Manish, you want to say something?
Yeah, yeah. Quickly, on the same line, I want to say that sometime I wish that ये चीज मतलब जल्दी हो जाना चाहिए, but it doesn't happen like that. So we also need to have patience कि भाई मुझे ये करना है, मैं ये चाहता हूँ तो बस फटाफट हो जाए, ऐसा नहीं होता है। तो वो गीता में लिखा है ना कि भाई वही हमें मुझे कर्म पे ध्यान देना है, फल पे ध्यान नहीं देना, है ना। क्योंकि अगर कर्म अच्छा होगा तो फल तो आ ही जाएगा। तो है ना। तो कभी अगर रिजल्ट्स आर नॉट कमिंग अर्ली, तो we should have patience, and we should have full faith कि yes, if I will do it, if I do it on a regular basis, then things will work out for me. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Shweta. Shweta, go ahead. You can go ahead now. Right. So see, the fundamental point is कि आप खाली एक फिल्टर लगाओ और फिल्टर लगा के पूछो कि वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग राइट नाउ, वॉट आर द गोल्स दैट यू आर सेटिंग अप. See, goal setting is happening throughout the day. Even right now, you are setting up some goals. One of the goal is, probably if you notice right now, is that you want to clarify your point. You want to clarify yourself. You want to clarify uh, when somebody comes up with a curiosity कि मुझे ये जानना है, मुझे ये समझना है, and then observe what is going on. If you are answering to that out of inspiration, nothing like that. If you're answering to that out of desperation कि मुझे अपना point prove करना ही है, then comes the suffering कि इसने मेरा इस point को accept क्यों नहीं किया या कर भी रहा है या नहीं. So the key point is that at any given point of time, whatever you are doing, is it you are doing out of inspiration or out of desperation? If it is out of desperation, definitely you are in the thinking trap. There's no doubt about it. आपको कुछ सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. That is it. Because now you're desperate to prove your point, desperate to achieve this goal, desperate to make it happen. When it is inspiration, you will enjoy that moment. You will enjoy everything that you're doing. You know, like I can compare it like when in many experiences or many examples, I use uh, this experience of pregnancy and motherhood. because ladies can experience these things easily because they have gone through that process. Men cannot. Like I always say, a mother becomes a mother the moment she discovers that she is pregnant. And a father becomes a father when the baby is out. Till the baby is out, the father doesn't become a father. So you can imagine those moments that out of inspiration or out of desperation, you are managing your children. Like when I attend some trainings on parenting, this is the only area where I focus on. मैं खाली उनको एक ही सवाल पूछता हूँ that whatever you are doing right now, is it out of inspiration or desperation? And ask the same question to the child. I think if you just focus on these two words, the entire parenting becomes the most exciting part of your life as well as the child's life. You do not need any training coaching on parenting. खाली एक ही सवाल पूछो, whatever, like even the question that you're asking me right now, is it out of desperation or out of inspiration? कि मैं अपने बच्चे को एक कुछ भी बनाना चाहता हूँ, तो आप बनाने वाले हो कौन? So when you are saying that मैं बनाना चाहता हूँ, that means you are operating from that trap of desperation. किसी और के पास एक मर्सिडीज है, कम से कम मेरे पास तो एक होंडा होना चाहिए, काइंड ऑफ थिंग. दैट्स आउट ऑफ डिस्परेशन, है ना. इंस्पिरेशन इसके, वाओ तुम्हारे पास मर्सिडीज है, फाइन, मेरा मारुति ऑल्टो भी काफी है, क्योंकि दोनों का काम तो सेम ही है ना. सो आई एम इंस्पायर्ड. So the catch yourself, this is the biggest learning from today's session, today's reading. Anyway, we are going to practice it for next 5 days. And I believe that next 5 days, whoever will practice together, or those 15 minutes sharing and then practicing whatever we are reading for that day. After 7 days, आप ना, इतना मैं आपके साथ अब गारंटी के साथ बता सकता हूँ, you will come out as a diamond from a piece of diamond inside the coal mine. 5 दिन में ये ट्रांजैक्शन, ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन पॉसिबल है. Because all those 5 days, we will be only dealing with two questions. Whatever I am doing right now, is it out of desperation or out of inspiration? If it is out of inspiration, you will enjoy every moment of that journey without sharing it with anybody. किसी को explanation नहीं देना है. Wherever you are giving any explanation, you are trying to prove your point is a real-time, real-life experience of desperation. That I am desperate to prove my point कि मैं जो कह रहा हूँ यही सही है. सही हो ना हो, कम से कम तुम्हें इस मैसेज को सुनना पड़ेगा, तुम्हें अप्रिशिएट करना पड़ेगा, कम से कम तुम्हें बताना पड़ेगा कि हाँ, आप जो कह रहे हैं दैट ऑल्सो मेक्स सेंस. The entire social media business of trillions of dollars is running on only one word. That one word is called desperation. अगर आपको सोशल मीडिया में रहना है या अपने आप को एस्टेब्लिश करना है, the only option that you are left with is desperation. And this entire industry is running on that one word called desperation. उसमें इंस्पिरेशन कुछ नहीं है. इंस्पिरेशन सिर्फ गिने चुने लोगों का है. And those गिने चुने लोग may be the people who are hardly 1% of the population. For example, let me give a very simple example. आपने कोई मैसेज फॉरवर्ड किया, that is an act of desperation. जिसने उस मैसेज को डिजाइन किया, that is in most cases an outcome of inspiration. Just think of any graphic image, any one sentence. If somebody is writing it on his own, they are designing that picture on its own, there is an inspiration. एकदम दिमाग में थॉट है, वो बैठ गया उसको बनाने के लिए, उसने बनाया, ग्रुप में डाल दिया. बनाना तक is up to inspiration. Even when thinking about sharing it with others, maybe an act of inspiration as well. But then expecting somebody to give a thumb to it is a desperation. So till that message is being designed, inspiration chal raha hai, because you are enjoying the moment, you are happy about it, you are joyful about it, you are uh, enjoying fulfillment, you are enjoying clarity, you are enjoying all those 5 stages, LPJ, FC. The moment it moves out of those 5 moments, 5 states of mind, you are getting into that zone of desperation. अब मुझे कुछ proof करना है लोगों को. I want acknowledgement. I want recognition. I want reaction. These emoticons that are being used across all social media, इनको बोला जाता है reaction. They are not being promoted as responses, though there are responses. But technically, they use the word reaction because reaction has to do everything with desperation. Response may not be associated with desperation. Response can be inspiration also. That I'm inspired to give a response on this without any judgment. But desperation is always backed by a judgment. मुझे तो ये चाहिए. किसी ना किसी को बोलना पड़ेगा. हाँ, आपका point of view भी बहुत exciting है, बहुत encouraging है, बहुत motivating है. So catch yourself. The activity that are doing, in fact, आज का दिन ही कर लो. बाकी जिंदगी करो ना करो अपनी बात है, अलग बात है. Just for today, practice. Observe that the actions that you are taking, is it an outcome of your desperation or inspiration? Like, do you really want it, or you just want to have it? कि किसी भी तरीके से मुझे ये चाहिए. And that's it what I have to share. And yes, probably you can get rid of all your problems in life. Probably you'll stop using the word problem the moment you discover that whatever you are thinking right now or whatever you're doing right now is an outcome of desperation or inspiration. That's all I have to share.
Yeah, wonderful thoughts. I found answers to everything. Thank you.
So thought and thinking are distinct. They're not different. You cannot compare one with the other. Thoughts are what is just coming. Thinking is what follows that thought. और लाइफ को सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए ना you can live in the zone of inspiration at any given point of time. Like I call it EMI of life: encouragement, motivation, and inspiration. So if you're enjoying this EMI of life, probably you do not need any other EMIs to live the rest of your life. All other EMIs are outcome of your desperation. आपने एक गाड़ी ले ली लोन पे, घर ले लिया लोन पे, desperation, and you are burdened under that EMI. And that EMI which I am talking about is encouragement, motivation, and inspiration, which is all self-inspired.
E stands for
Encouragement.
oh,
So this EMI will uplift you. It will take you to, like, वहां पे क्या ना, हम जैसे बोलते हैं ना, cloud 9, cloud, जो भी cloud बोलते हैं, मैं बोल रहा हूँ cloud 11. When I say cloud 11, I say 1 and 1 makes 11. So when I am at cloud 11 and you are with me, you are also experiencing the same thing. So though cloud 11 doesn't exist in dictionary or in any other form of English language, yet I use it. So yes, catch yourself that whatever you are thinking, whatever you are saying, whatever your behavior that you are showing up right now, is it an outcome of your desperation or inspiration? अगर desperation है, you can definitely see that you are inside a trap. किसी को पूछने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Inspiration, probably you will speak less in that case. Inspiration always leads to a state of mind where you are thinking slow, thinking less, thinking smart, where you are speaking slow, speaking less, speaking smart. That's an outcome of inspiration. Desperation is, I don't know, probably desperation is all about proving your point. कि भाई ये मेरा POV है, point of uh, whatever I want to say, point of view. And then when I'm sharing my point of view, I'm also experiencing that somebody must accept or respect whatever my point of view is. So that is the thinking part.
yeah. I'd just like to add the last sentence is your mind is your true enemy because if you don't control your mind, the mind will control you.
Replace you with I, ma'am, and
Yes.
then say the
My
same thing.
mind is my true enemy. If I don't control it, it will control me.
How about replacing the word enemy with friend? Asking this question
No,
without using the word
right now
enemy, instead using the word friend.
I'm thinking in the world of thinking, but when I come to thought, then I will replace that enemy with friend. If my mind is my true friend and I don't control it, it will control you. When you talk in terms of control, there's a certain element of negativity. So I linked it to
Replace negativity. See, every weak word that we are using is an outcome of desperation. Every strong word that you are using is out of inspiration. Why do I need to use words like negativity? Why do I need to use words like when like which is not giving me any kind of good feeling? हमें यूज करना ही क्यों है?
Yeah, I agree.
Simple as that. Problem, use of the word problem is an outcome of desperation. Use because I want to prove that yes, I am in a problem. But when I talk about situation, then most of the time it is not an outcome of desperation. We're just sharing this. This is what the situation is all about. Abhi aisa hai. What is possible? What can I do to make it better for myself?
Very true. Situation versus solution game.
So if you need a solution when there is a problem, if there is no problem, you don't need a solution. Then you need to do what I'm supposed to do in this situation. अब वहाँ पे solution की बात ही नहीं हो रही है. Situation ऐसा है मुझे क्या करना चाहिए.
Yes, situation of fact.
So
That's the greatest inspiration I have had and learning I've had today. Thank you, Pinaki sir. Pinaki Guruji.
गुरु सब हम लोग खुद ही हैं. You and I, like we are. I would say put it this way that I am my best teacher, I'm my best trainer, I'm my best coach, I'm my best mentor. Why? Because I can only teach me what. So I can only learn what I teach me. बाकी सिखाने वाले बाहर तो बहुत कुछ सिखा रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं अपने आप को जो सिखा रहा हूँ वही मैं सीख रहा हूँ. So whatever I have learned till date is whatever I taught myself. I have a wonderful video on that. I published it on uh, the Teachers' Day last year. I'll share it with you. So you are your best teacher, you're your best trainer, you're your best coach, you're your best mentor. Nobody else can teach you anything unless you are willing to teach yourself that thing. The same teacher, the same subject, the same topic, the same class, but with 40 different children. The education is delivered. When the exam time comes, different students score different marks. Why? Because you can only score up to that you have taught yourself. जितना आपने आप खुद को सिखाया, आपको उतना ही आप आंसर पेपर में रिप्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं. See, if you can reproduce only what you have received so far, जो आपने आपको आपने खुद सिखाया. So you cannot reproduce anything जो आपने आपको सिखाया ही नहीं. Like human beings cannot reproduce a cow, a baby cow, right? Human beings can only reproduce human babies. So you can reproduce only what you have taught yourself. So that's why if you are getting 3 out of 10, that means आपने आपको उतना ही सिखाया, क्योंकि उससे ज्यादा अगर आप सिखाया होता खुद को तो आप लिख भी पाते ना. नहीं लिख पाए क्योंकि आपने आपको सिखाया ही नहीं. So you are the best teacher, best trainer, best coach, best mentor. Like I work with almost 2,000 students. These are all teenage students from class 8 to 12 in 2 schools. And this is the only message we give them. That this is, you are your best teacher. तो आप अपने आप को जितना बेहतर से बेहतरीन टीचर बना पाओगे, उतना बेहतर से बेहतरीन आप खुद बन पाओगे. And in all the situations, we only work with these 2 words. The question is, are you inspired right now or you're desperate to achieve it? And that makes a whole lot of difference. These 2 schools, we are producing wonderful results and we are not working on marks. In fact, we don't use the marks at all in these schools. We only use the word score. What is your score? So if this is your score, that means what are the areas of improvement you have right now? What you can see for yourself. So we do not use the word correct. हमारे किसी भी टीचर किसी भी बच्चे के स्कूल के कॉपीज को करेक्ट नहीं करते. हम उन पे एरियाज ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट ढूंढते हैं कि कहाँ पे आप अपने आप को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हो. एंड मेनी टाइम्स इवन द टीचर्स डोंट डू दैट. दे आस्क द चाइल्ड कि आपको क्या लगता है आप कहाँ पे अपने आप को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हो. We have stopped using red ink pen in those schools. We are only using green ink pen. खाली green use करना है. It's all about green signal. So there is no red signal. Anyway, great session. Thank you so much for joining this morning
Thank
and
you,
make
everybody. Bye bye.
my life amazing.
Thank you, everybody. I learned a lot today. Life lessons learned from all of you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. God bless you. God bless you.